What is the difference? Phrasal verb versus verb preposition. Imagine you're trying to understand how different words work together in a sentence. Sometimes, two words team up to change the meaning entirely. Other times, they just link to give a clear idea. That's what we're exploring today. Let's start with a simple question. What makes a phrase a phrasal verb or a prepositional verb? It might seem tricky at first, but once you see the differences, it becomes easier to spot them in sentences. A phrasal verb is a main verb combined with one or more particles, which can be adverbs or prepositions. These particles change the meaning of the original verb, often in surprising ways. For example, the verb get plus the particle over makes get over, which means recover from something. This is very different from just get, which means to obtain. Phrasal verbs can be tricky because their meanings are not always obvious from the words alone. In a sentence, you might say, she looked up the word in the dictionary. Here, looked up means searched for. Notice that the particle up can sometimes be separated from the verb if the object is a noun. For example, she looked the word up in the dictionary. But if the object is a pronoun, it must come between the verb and the particle, like she looked it up. Phrasal verbs can also be transitive, meaning they take an object, or intransitive, meaning they do not. Now let's look at a prepositional verb. This is a verb followed by a preposition that links to its object, but the meaning stays pretty much the same as the original verb. For example, listen to is a prepositional verb. When you say, I listen to music, the preposition to connects listen to music. The meaning is straightforward and predictable. You cannot say listen music to because the preposition must come right before the object. The main difference between these two types of verb phrases is how their meanings work and how they are structured. Phrasal verbs create a new meaning that is often not obvious from the individual words. Prepositional verbs keep the original meaning of the verb, and the preposition just links it to the object. For example, put away is a phrasal verb meaning to store or tidy up. You can say, she put away her clothes. But look after is a prepositional verb meaning to take care of. You say, he looks after the children. The meaning stays clear because after just links the verb look to its object. Knowing these differences helps you understand how to use verbs correctly. It also helps you identify parts of speech in sentences, which is important for learning English. Whether a phrase is a phrasal verb or a prepositional verb depends on how the words work together and what they mean. Remember, in a phrasal verb, the meaning can change completely, and the object can sometimes be placed between the verb and the particle. In a prepositional verb, the preposition always comes immediately before the object, and the meaning remains more literal. So next time you see a verb with a word after it, ask yourself, is this a new phrase with a different meaning, or just a link to the object? Recognizing these patterns will make your understanding of English much clearer and your speaking more precise.